Okay, this is the second part of this intro set of video tutorials demonstrating the way to create a Revit general file of the exterior of our project. Again, later on you will jump to another set of videos where you will be told or explain how to introduce your project inside of it. No? Okay, so now we need to do a couple things. For example, select the partition. You can hide things just by selecting right click and hide elements, so you can work better without the roof bothering you. You can select the partition. You can select the little triangle arrow so you can drag it down. But if you want to be more precise, the best way to actually deal with this is by changing the offsets here. So you can say unconnected height. You can say now to level 2, because that's actually the level on the top, and the top offset we will figure out afterwards, but we're going to be able to change it more precisely. For example, 1 spacebar 5, that would mean 1 feet and 5 inches, and that would be plus, so we can put a minus in front and it will go down. We will take it lower as it is. Okay, so that's one thing. Another thing is how to introduce some openings into these walls. If you go to architecture, you can select wall opening, select the wall, and then just for now we're going to do it like random, and we're going to do that several times. Escape 2 times, wall opening, select. Notice that sometimes it might give you an error if you step on top of the other wall. Escape 2 times, wall opening, select, and then create a wall. Again, if it turns, let me go and do that. If you actually come up with this problem, just say cancel this and then create it again a little bit smaller. Okay. We have to make sure those windows are a proper dimension. How do we do that? Well, we go to level 1 and we look at the cut in plan to understand the relation between the window and the corners of this building. So we can now start using the annotate, align, and you can just select on the line here, it turns blue, and then on this little point it turns a little blue. It's very small, but you can see that. We're gonna have the distance between the corner of the inner corner of the wall and the beginning of the window to 4 feet. So the way you do that is select the opening, it turns blue, and select the text of the annotation, and you just change whatever number you have here to 0.4 inches. There you go. Another thing we're going to do is a 3 feet 5 inches from this side to this side. How are we going to do that? We're going to create a line. So you can create a detail line here, for example, or you can go to architecture, probably better, and say model line, which the shortcut is LI. We're going to click on the beginning of the opening, and we're going to let it pass through the same diagonal and introduce the length that we're interested in. It's going to be 3 spacebar 5. This means 3 feet 5 inches. Okay. You can come perpendicular to the exterior. You can select the opening, turns blue, the centerpiece, and you can just bring it until it meets the green line. Okay, I'm deleting that line. We will delete the other one afterwards. We have to do this for the rest. You could just delete or leave it there, whatever you prefer. So I'm going to do a annotate, a line from this line to that point. That's 7, 29, and 30. We don't want that number, we want 4, so you select the opening, turns blue, select the text, 4. We create a line, model line, or shortcut LI. You come down this way, you say 3 spacebar 5, and you come perpendicular to either side. You select the opening, you drag it until you meet the green line, select the green line and delete. Okay, let's do it now with shortcuts. DI, without pressing enter or anything, gives you the dimensions, so it's the annotation, and you go from this line to that point. Select the opening, turns blue, select the text, 4 inches, comes down. LI, without pressing spacebar or anything, gives you the line, the model line. Extended, 3, spacebar 5. If the shortcuts are not working for you, just go to the same buttons as in the previous examples. Select the opening, drag it all the way until we meet the green line. There we go. Let's go to the 3D. So now their openings in the horizontal are exactly the same, but vertically they're not. So what we're going to do is go to level 1. I'm going to select the section and drag it all the way until it cuts all of the windows. And in this case, instead of double clicking, I'm going to go to the section 1 here, double click. And here you can see every single opening of a window. No? So what we're going to do is, notice that you can select the wall and you will see wall here, or you can select the opening. It's an invisible box that is there, and it will say rectangular straight wall opening. Now we're going to drag that to the bottom. We're going to do a annotate a line between our level 2 and the bottom of the window, and that's a weird number because we haven't measured it. So I'm going to select now the opening again, click on the number. I'm going to make it 2 feet. So it has to be 2 without, 2 feet basically. Every other window should be the same. We're going to take it all the way to the bottom. That's easy. But now to take the top of each of the openings to the same level, you can do the same process like dragging down dimension, but you can also use the AL command. Select first the one you want to take a face to, and then second the face you want to take it that way. Okay, you can do that again by clicking the face you want to take it to, the face you want to move it to that point. Okay, so that you will make sure there's at 2 feet all of the windows are located. Okay, if you go to the 3D by clicking on the little doghouse, we have all of the openings here. We also see the green lines, so we can select them carefully because you might just by accident select something else. If you want to select something that is difficult to select, just click on the tab one time after another until you get a blue signal that that's the object you want to delete or select. So you can press tab, delete. Okay, and in this case it's here, delete. Saving, and okay, we also need a curtain wall for each of these, or big window panels. So we're going to go to level 1, architecture, and what we're going to do is a normal wall, clicking on the wall command and going all the way to the bottom to storefront, for example. Like always, we're going to edit type, duplicate, and call it something like window A and D. Okay. This one comes with a lot of settings and we can just change them afterwards, but for now I'm just going to change this to none. I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to create several windows. One here, coming down, clicking in, beginning end. That creates the first one. There you go. I'm going to do the same. Wall, select window A and D current wall from here to here. Escape from here to here. Go to 3D and see what happened. Notice how they're stepping all the way to the top. That's because I haven't changed the top constraint. So if you select them, everything turns blue. You can say top constraint, you want it to be level 2. If you say apply, it will go all the way to the level 2, but we need to take it 2 feet lower than that point. So we're going to say top offset minus 2, and it will take it there. Okay, we have to do that for every single one. You could just do it at once. -2, select it, up level 2, -2 feet. There we go. I'm saving, and now it's an issue of grids and so on. Let's start with actually this current wall. Current walls are tricky because you can select in many ways. You can select the grids, these little elements. You can select actually the panels, but in order to make sure that you select in the current wall, you want to select and take a look here that it says current system or current wall. Okay, once you have that, you can check some of the settings. You can go to edit type and understand a little bit of what's happening here. The grids are the possible cuts of the glass, so we want to set this to fixed number. The mullions is like the metal carpentry of this current wall. We're going to set it to the interiors to be 1.5 and 2.5 inches rectangular, but the borders are going to be a little bit thicker, 2.5 by 5, 2.5 by 5. That's only in one direction, so now in the other direction is exactly the same, 1.5 by 2.5, 2.5 by 5, 2.5 by 5. If we say OK, there's all your mullions and all your panels. Now, why do we have so many? Well, if you select again the current wall, again it says current system here, you can change the number of current walls you have. For example, you can say here 2, apply, and it will make only 2 of these guys. You can say 3, it will create 3, and that's in the vertical ones, and then horizontally you can say like 2, and then you have 2. Okay, there you go. I'm going to select now also the partition, and we're going to use the align tool, AL, select any of these, like the grid line when it turns blue there, select the top face and it comes down. That's pretty much the height of our partition. It's being located. Okay, more grids. I'm going to save again. Select the mullion. Again, it's tricky because there are many things here. Make sure here it doesn't say wall like I just did. It has to say walls or current wall here on the top. The same strategy, edit type. And here all the mullions are set already. What I was thinking is maybe to make them a little bit smaller, the inner ones. And instead of layout none, I'm going to say fixed number. And here fixed number as well. I'm going to say OK. All of them are going to change because they're basically the same type. Now we can just go and change the settings here. Vertical grids, we want basically 0, but we can't put 0 because if you want 0, you want to go to edit type again and say here vertical grids none, actually. So you say none, you say OK. Yeah, what it does here is not delete the grids that you want to delete, so unfortunately we're going to have to select them. We can talk about it in class. I'm selecting basically the dash line to delete those mullions, so we don't want them. And again, select the current wall, and we can change here the horizontal grids to 2, and horizontal grids to 2, horizontal grids to 2. There we go. I think it's pretty much there. So let me turn on. Remember we did a roof here. The way you turn it on is you click on the light bulb. Everything shows when you click on the light bulb. You click on the element you want to unhide and you select it, right click, unhide element, and then click on the light bulb again. Okay, so these are our base model. We're going to start inserting the rest of the projects here. Maybe one thing that we want to incorporate is doors here, so it's a little bit of intro for different systems, or sorry, different symbols. So I'm going to say level 1. I'm going to delete the dimensions. We don't really need them anymore. And we're going to click on component. Sorry, escape that. Door. We're going to load family because we're not sure what type of doors we want. So you're going to go to the folder called door. And I'm imagining that they're like residential doors. And we're going to select the different types of doors that we have. We might want a double door with glass. If you don't find them here, what you can do is just cancel, load family, and go to doors commercial, we might find some other doors there that are interesting. For example, these ones with glassing and double panel. So we say open. I think we could select the smaller one here and say okay. And the way you place doors is just get close to a wall. You can go to one side or the other one. This one is nearby the glass panel. Okay, we're gonna place another door, like a smaller one. Maybe in this case, residential in a single panel. Or we can go up and try again commercial. This one is the single one. Select the smaller one. You can place the door again, interior, exterior. You can also press spacebar and it changes the orientation of the door. Okay. Good. So we have like the plan, very basic with some doors, the windows, the glass panels. I know that the real project has more details, but we're going to keep it simple so we can start introducing the rest of the project into this. The last thing I will do is to incorporate a camera, so we can click on the triangle expanding the doghouse here and say camera, and you click 2 times where you want the camera to be and the direction you want it to be. Don't leave it very close to the camera, go all the way, because that's as far as you will be able to see. You click again and it will open automatically a view that will be collected under 3D views here. If it's not what it is that you like, which most probably won't be, you can move this little window, select the window, start dragging different points around. Okay. We can also introduce people very fast by clicking on component, load family, and entourage. We can say, for example, a female, place a person, and now we can go to the camera. Remember, it's 3D view 1, and there's a person sitting down. You can select it and change, so we have a different type of person. Okay. Last thing, we have all of the Revit material, but we also have the conceptual mass. Is this big guy that when you click it says base project C and it says mass. We don't generally want that, so I recommend that you right click, hide view and element. It's good to know that it's there, but it's not something that we need from this point on. There you go. Okay, now we're done with this step. I'm gonna save, and again, as I said before, you should go to the other set of video tutorials to continue the process of bringing your Rhino models and explore different interior design proposals. Okay, that's done.